Welcome to February 17th and the 19th homework help for Bailey, Henderson, and Jakovich, and Losi. If we'll go ahead and look on Monday night's homework, the 17th, which is due on Tuesday, if we'll look at number 1, which table best represents the points on the line graph below? Well, if we go ahead and look at this, we need to go ahead and plot some of the points here. Let me switch to a pen here. Let me go with red. If here we are at 0, but it goes straight down, so that's 0, 1, 2. It's at 0 and negative 2 because I went down. This is 0 and positive 1, so we know A can't be my answer. B has 0 and negative 2, so that's a maybe. C has 0 and positive 2. We didn't go up, we went down, so it can't be C. And D doesn't have 0 at all, so it's between B and D. If I look, the only other answer choice they have the same is negative 3. D has negative 3 and B has negative 3, but they both have a different Y value. So I'm going to find X, I'm going to find negative 3. So I'm going to count back 3. So it's 1, 2, 3. And I want to go all the way down to where I hit the line. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So that point is found at negative 3 and 8. So the correct answer is D. B is wrong because it said negative 3 and 4, which would be negative 3 and 4, which would be about right here. So in the yellow. So that's why negative 4 is not correct for that one. Okay. For those of you who are ready for Tuesday, we'll go ahead and look at Tuesday night's homework. On Tuesday night's homework, it says a right triangle or prism is shown below. It says if, so here's my right triangle. Let me get my highlighter so we can focus on just where the right triangle is, because this is a three-dimensional figure, so it's kind of hard. We don't want to look at the whole three-dimensional figure. We only want to focus on that right triangle. Sometimes it helps, guys, if you take the time to draw the figure off by itself. So then your eyes can focus on what your brain needs to do. So here I have this right triangle. This is labeled A, B, and C. The only thing labeled so far on it is the bottom is 5 inches. But it also says the AB is 12 inches. So here's my A and my B is 12 inches. Says what's the length of AC. So this is what I need to find. Well, looking at it, I know this is a right angle, so I can use my Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus B squared is C squared. So A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. Now the A and the B are the smaller squares of the water that made the bigger one. So that's what makes the right angle. So this is my A, my B that's missing, and my 12 is my C. So since I already know my C, I'm actually going to be working backwards. I don't want to add, I'm actually going to have to subtract. Okay, before I even start, I know that my hypotenuse is my longest side, 12. I know the answer has to be smaller than 12. 169 is way ridiculous. If that's my hypotenuse and that's the longer side, guess what, guys? I don't even have to solve this. 13 is still bigger than the hypotenuse, so that can't be true. 17 is still longer than the hypotenuse, so that can't be true. So the only answer it can be is 10, but I'm still going to show you just so you can understand the work. So please watch the video so you can understand. A squared is going to be 5 squared. 5 squared plus B squared is equal to 12 squared. So 5 squared is 25 plus B squared is equal to 12 squared means 12 times 12 is 144. Okay, so instead of adding this, since the total has to be 144, I want to subtract the 25. So 14 minus 5 is 9. 3 minus 2 is 1, 19. Well, 119 can't be the answer because that's b squared. I don't want b squared. I want the square root. So that means I want the square root of 119. The closest answer to that is it's in between. It's close to 10 and 11. And since 11 is not an answer choice for us, 10 is the only thing that will work because 11 times 11 is 121. That would be too big. The others aren't going to work anyways because they are bigger than the hypotenuse. So my correct answer is B. Moving on to Wednesday night's homework. Margarita traces a circle with a radius of 20 centimeters like the one shown below. She will color in the shaded region. What's the approximate area of the shaded region? Well, first of all, we're talking about area and we're talking about a circle. So I want to look at my cheat sheet and copy from that. So if area is equal to, so looking on my cheat sheet, the area is pi times the radius square. That's for a whole circle. Now guys, do I want this whole thing? No. Well, if I look at it, is it half a circle? No. How much of a circle is it? It's 1, 2, 3, 4. It is one part out of 4. So after I do this, I want to make sure I divide by 4. So I'm going to go ahead and put that part in now. So I don't forget in the end, I don't want this whole thing. I only want a fourth of it. So I want to divide it by 4. So if I go ahead and I have my E for equation, now I have my S for my substitute. So I'm going to substitute my numbers in. So if area is equal to, now for pi, since it's multiple choice, I'm just going to use 3 because none of those answers are close to each other. So I have 3 times the radius. Again, I wrote on top of what the radius is. The radius is 20. So 3 times 20 square. But if I only do that, that's going to give me the area for the whole circle, and I only want a fourth of the circle, so I want to divide by 4. Okay, following order of operations, when I go to solve it for our second S, I'm going to have to figure out what 20 squared is. 20 squared means 20 times 20. 20 times 20, which is 400. So I'm going to have my area is equal to 3 times 400. Divided by 4. Now guys, we can look at this a couple of different ways. We could go ahead and multiply this out, 3 times 400, which is going to make my number bigger. Or I can go ahead and divide one of the numbers out. I can't do 3 divided by 4. I could, but it's going to give me a decimal. That's going to be harder. But if I look at 400 divided by 4, 400 divided by 4, 4 can go on 400 100 times. So I can go ahead and divide it out first if I want. That way it makes it small. And this 4 goes away because I've already divided it out. So the only thing I have left is 3 times 100. So my final answer in my solve, my area is equal to 300 centimeters square. And my closest answer to that, since I didn't use real pi, is 3.14 centimeters square. So my answer is B. That was your homework for this week. I hope it helped you, and I'll see you again next week.